The Kenya Kwanza side seems to have made unconstitutional promises to the people of Kenya. From what I've been saying, that are promising this thing on their manifesto. Number two, I would like to inform them that I'm not part of the Azimio. There's a third side, I'm an independent voice. I'm not part of Azimio, so I did not have anything on affordable housing. Point number three, there was a decision of the court. And this bill has not addressed it at all. Questions of discrimination are still there. Questions of violating the Constitution are still there. And discrimination in the nature that there's a mandatory requirement on salaried employees to contribute, but a voluntary requirement on other people, or a voluntary opportunity for others to contribute. There's no universal application of the law. Also, the court clarified between policy and implementation, but looks like the National Assembly and the executive have taken upon themselves the implementation role, which is supposed to be vested in the counties. Number three, the Constitution requires access to housing. Affordable housing does not prescribe ownership of affordable housing. And all over the world, the state is always required to provide access, not ownership to housing. So where the Kenyan government is getting the impression that it can expand the Constitution or the Parliament, I don't know. Access cannot be read to mean ownership. So the entire act violates Article 43, Clause 1, Clause B, upon which it is proposed to be anchored. It's also an arbitrary denial of arbitrary deprivation of property from the salaried employees to demand that they should part with salaries in a forcible fund. It's a mechanism of forcing people into associations contrary to the Constitution. This thing is unconstitutional, and it will remain unconstitutional whatever color it takes, whatever shape it takes, whatever test it takes. It's unconstitutional. And finally, it's most unfortunate that we are debating an important bill and members are given only 4 minutes. It is not possible to give your ideas, to ventilate this bill in 4 minutes. If we are extending the time to a point when we are doing that, why are we giving ourselves 4 minutes? Why are we muscling? Why are we gagging people who would like to ventilate the bill? So I would like that to go on record that it was a wrong thing to do, to gag members by limiting the time by which they can debate. And I also support Senator for Isiolo, for Garissa, who said that the bill violates the principles of Islamic religion, which are specifically exempted under the Constitution when making bills. Thank you very much.
Senator Gloria Uroba.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Speaker. I want to proudly support the affordable housing, Mr. Speaker. And not just because it creates jobs for the youth. Not just because it creates jobs, Mr. Speaker. I want to support this because it is what Kenya needs, Mr. Speaker. And by the way, we need to be alive to the fact that change is inevitable. Senators from the opposition need to understand that an election was won based on promises that were given to Kenyans. One of the promises being affordable housing. Mr. Speaker, and I have even heard Senator Ledama try to explain how we should not do housing because ABCD. And when I was listening to him, I was wondering, these senior members of this house must understand the difference between social housing and affordable housing, Mr. Speaker. We are not talking about social housing. Whatever Senator Ledama was trying to talk about was social housing. And Mr. Speaker, when the Kenya Kwanza government is done with affordable housing successfully, then we are going to move now to deal with the issue of social housing, because even that is necessary. So, Mr. Speaker, as I support this affordable housing bill, I must say again and again and again, change is inevitable and development will be brought to Kenya by force, by fire. And if there is anybody